The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Give me justice. Get a family justice. Do your job.
This should have happened or that should have happened.
Developing tonight at DC News Now at 10, intense emotions over the deadly shooting of Karan Blake, the 13-year-old boy gunned down days ago in DC. Tonight we're live as his family demands more from police, and police with an urgent message to the public.
Plus, parents in Virginia's largest school district sounding off over an ongoing scandal centered around a prestigious national honor. Why some say they're playing politics with their kids' futures.
Also ahead, more empty shelves and empty promises from Walmart. Calls to restock one D.C. location growing louder tonight. We're live as shoppers tell us they've had enough.
And weather-wise, hopefully you had a wonderful Tuesday. I know increasing clouds have been kind of a problem. We're going to stick to that for your Wednesday. Temperatures, though, they're warming up. We'll look at your extended forecast coming up.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 10 on DCW 50. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Tasmin Mahfouz. In our top story tonight, a community demanding answers. It's now been 4 days since a 13-year-old boy was shot and killed by a homeowner in Northeast D.C. Our Mariel Carbone is live in Northeast at the scene of that deadly shooting. And Mariel, there's a group gathering there tonight after a community meeting that was held not too far away. And these people are demanding more answers. The main question right now that remains is, who pulled the trigger?
Give me justice. Get a family justice. Do your job. Let the jury deal with it.
An impassioned plea from the grandfather of 13-year-old Karan Blake to arrest the man who killed him.
This man shoot somebody, ain't got no weapons, is walking out on the street 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, looking at cars, and he get killed.
Tuesday night, community members packed the Turkey Thicket Recreation Center, demanding justice for Karan. To them, that means naming the shooter and charging him.
You don't matter how you look at it. It's a homicide. So let's not treat it as though this person needs to be protected from the community. The community needs to be protected from him.
When names are released early on, that could adversely impact this case. And I don't think anybody standing in front of me or watching this wants to do anything that could adversely impact this case.
Earlier in the day, Police Chief Robert Conti explained the decision to not name the shooter. He says the investigation is ongoing and the facts will go before a grand jury, which will then decide if charges will be filed. He also berated the community for speculating and posting false information online.
People are making allegations centered around race. Spreading of inaccurate information is dangerous, reckless, and has the potential to adversely impact the investigation.
According to the chief, the shooter is an African-American man who did have a concealed carry permit.
I didn't know that you could get a gun permit and shoot somebody for messing with a car.
And we just want to apologize for some technical difficulties when you first saw me there. But I do want to point out, after that meeting, that community members, family members, they marched out to the scene where the shooting happened a few days ago. They are hurting, they are angry, they are frustrated, and they want accountability immediately. The chief telling us today, though, that they are still asking anybody that saw anything or knows anything to contact police. Reporting live in Northeast D.C. tonight, I'm Mariel Carbone, DC News Now.
Mariel, thank you for that update. Meanwhile, with so many questions about the investigation into Karan Blake's death, we asked an attorney about some of the factors police and prosecutors have to consider before pressing charges.
There is no stand your ground law in the District of Columbia, and there is a duty to retreat. And so as a result of that, it's not quite clear, as far as the facts that have been revealed in the public, what exactly transpired factually.
And Deanna Maria Lewis says investigators will also have to look at the shooter's intent when he left his home that night.
Meanwhile, D.C. leaders and advocates are launching a new campaign focused on the rising violence. Thousands of posters bearing the words, "Thou shalt not kill," are going up all across the district. Coming up in our next half hour, we'll hear from those community members about what they can expect from the campaign.
All right, let's get a first check on the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb.
And Janessa, it's really chilly outside.
Definitely a wall of clouds along with the chill that's in place across the district. We're getting pretty lucky here. We have multiple waves of disturbances that are allowing for some precip to flow across the Ohio Valley. And as they're tracking across our area, it's dissipating. And so that's the wonderful news. Tonight, we're actually seeing a kind of this lull out towards West Virginia, some partial clearing. But then we're going to watch these clouds make their way in by tomorrow afternoon. So please enjoy this slight break from the increase in clouds because this jet stream, it wants to move more towards the north. Also, that is going to be a positive thing, allowing for a warm front to surge in from the south. The problem is it's associated with our next storm system. It's hovering in the Pacific Northwest, going to travel into the central U.S. by tomorrow evening, and then finally impact us going into your Thursday. Thursday does not look like a washout day, but it's really the day we're going to be watching for some embedded thunder along with rain flowing across Richmond to the Carolinas and the district. This will continue really for your evening hours, and then Friday we're going to watch the backside, allow some winds to whip up along with a little bit of snow. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Developing now on that missing D.C. realtor from Massachusetts. Anna Walsh was last seen New Year's Day. Her husband, Brian Walsh, now in jail. He's charged with misleading investigators. And now possible evidence found at a trash transfer station near Brian Walsh's mother's home. That's north of Boston. Meanwhile, Walsh told police he last saw his wife January 1st. He had her cell phone pinged near her home on both the 1st and the 2nd. The podcast, The Case, obtained a voicemail from Brian Walsh. They say he left it for a friend the day his wife's work reported her missing.
Good afternoon, Brian Walsh. I hope all is going well. I was just reaching out to basically everybody I could. Anna hasn't been in touch for a few days. Do you know anyone that might have that contact with her? Calling everyone. So sorry to bother you. Sure, everything's fine.
These new details on top of surveillance video showing Walsh buying hundreds of dollars worth of cleaning supplies, tarps, and tape at a Home Depot. Police also found blood in the couple's basement and a bloody knife. Walsh pleaded not guilty to those charges of lying to police. He was granted a $500,000 bond but remains in jail.
And developing tonight, parents are calling for answers from Virginia's largest school district after more than 250 students were not immediately told they were nationally recognized commended scholars. Some are worried that it may have hurt their chances to get into their top colleges. Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Max Marcilla joins us live from Langley High School in McLean. And Max, tonight the county superintendent met parents face-to-face and listened to their frustrations.
She did, and she started here in McLean at Langley High School, then went over to Westfield High School in Chantilly, the other school where this apparent delay in notification happened. Tonight, not much as far as new details on the review of how or why it happened, but it did give parents a chance to really sound off and share their concerns and frustrations with Reed. Dozens of parents in attendance for round 2 of Superintendent Michelle Reed's 3-stop tour. FCPS held town halls at each of the schools where there was a delay in telling students they were commended scholars. We were there for last week's meeting at Thomas Jefferson High School. Tonight, some people shared the worry that Fairfax County's commitment to equity played a role in not telling students, meaning the schools were concerned about the racial makeup of the group who achieved the honor. But Reed says that's not the case, and equity is about uplifting.
And our responsibility is to ensure that each and every student achieve their fullest potential. So it's not about outcomes in the sense of a lid in terms of capacity. I think that would be devastating for our country.
Amy Palladini says she is not convinced equity wasn't a factor and wants answers as to how the delay happened.
Was the delay in them being informed, was it politically motivated? Were they hoping to somehow change the outcome of what the demographics looked like in terms of who was commended?
Throughout the night, Reed apologized and vowed to restore trust and share findings from an independent investigation. But some parents said they're not buying FCPS's original statement that it was a one-time human error, especially now that 3 schools faced the same error. Reed did address that concern.
There are times where the truth is a difficult to believe, and this may be one of those times.
Now, tonight there was more debate over just how important these notifications would have been, if it would have impacted any college acceptances or scholarships. One parent said to Reed, though, that's really not the issue. It doesn't matter if it would have gotten their child into a college or any of those scholarships. What matters is that it's the parents and students' rights to decide whether or not they want to include that in their application. So just another thing for Reed to consider as both the independent and Attorney General's investigations continue. Live from McLean, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
Max, thank you. Meanwhile, new details tonight. The frustration continues for Walmart shoppers in Northwest D.C. Many shelves, like these here, remain empty after refrigeration units failed. This has been an ongoing issue since before Christmas. This involves a Walmart on H Street, which is where we find our Dave Laval tonight. Dave, not much progress, and a lot of shelves there remain empty at this hour.
Chris, yesterday we heard talk from managers the shelves could be restocked by today. Well, tonight we're told that likely will not happen until the weekend. That means shoppers will have to
bananas, my favorite ice cream.
A small win for Deborah Anderson, but she was not able to get many of the things she needed at the H Street Walmart.
Eggs, bread, and water.
Those shelves are practically empty. A Walmart spokesperson blamed a broken refrigeration unit for the shortages. The shelves are cold as the problem was fixed, but there's nothing on them.
It's very bad because I do like bread, dairy, and everything.
A few grapes that they had left around.
We spoke to Terry Smith, who waited on a ride after a trip to the store. He was also unable to find some major food staples.
Vegetables and stuff like that.
Walmart is one of the world's leading retailers, yet the shopping experience here over the last few weeks has not been what customers normally experience.
It was like Walmart, but it was just like, wasn't much in there to get beside.
I've never seen it so empty like that in a Walmart since it's been here.
Managers told us a large shipment is expected to arrive late Tuesday night, but it could be the weekend before all the shelves are fully restocked.
I found what I could get, so I guess I'm a little satisfied today with it.
Shoppers told us there are other grocery stores in this area where they could go, but there's a reason why they don't. It costs more than Walmart. We're live in Northwest. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Well, Maryland Governor-elect Wes Moore making history, appointing the first Asian American to a key government position. Coming up, we'll show you why Susan Lee says this is really an exciting opportunity for her and reflect on her remarkable journey to become Maryland's Secretary of State.
Plus, it's the second part of our interview with Maryland's outgoing Governor Larry Hogan. We'll show you how he says he was able to reach an approval rating of 87% among African American voters.
And weather-wise, we're tracking increasing clouds for your Wednesday. Also, our weather team pretty busy on this line of storms expected to drop down going into your Thursday. Hey, we'll look at that coming up.